So welcome to the optical fiber communication. In previous lecture, I have explained intermodal dispersion. So in this lecture, I will explain intramodal dispersion, that is material dispersion and waveguide dispersion. Now intramodal dispersion occurs in the single mode. When light pulse is launched in the fiber, it has particular spectral width. Light is not emitted as a single wavelength, but it also consists of different wavelengths that were defined as a spectral width of the pulse. So because of that, different wavelengths will travel at a different speed, and that's why we again get the pulse broadening, and this is called as a intramodal dispersion. There are again two types. One is material dispersion. In this case, the delay difference is caused by the dispersive properties of the waveguide material, that is a fiber material. And second is the waveguide dispersion. The delay difference because of the guidance effect within the fiber structure. So we'll discuss this one by one. Now material dispersion is caused because of the material properties. As you can see in the figure, a white light is incident on a prism, and the output of the prism is not a white light, but it is producing different colors. That is, we know that white light consists of all the wavelengths. So these wavelengths will travel at a different speed, and because of that, initially the pulse width is small and later the pulse width is increased. That is, light pulse is now broadened. So this occurs because each wavelength will experience a different refractive index inside the same material. Though the material refractive index is constant, but for particular wavelength, the refractive index is slightly different. So we can say the refractive index depends on the wavelength, or it is a function of the wavelength. And because of that, you can see when the light pulse is launched, red light will reach before this violet light, and this violet will reach at the end. So because of this difference in reaching time, we get dispersion. So this we define as a material dispersion. Now since the material dispersion depends on the material properties, we cannot change this dispersion. So this graph shows the variation of refractive index depend on the wavelength. As the wavelength increases from 0.2 to 3.5 micrometer, you can observe the variation in the refractive index from 1.4 to 1.54. And this curve shows how the refractive index will be varied. So there is one wavelength which is 1.27, which does not experiences any change in the refractive index, and this is the wavelength at which we get zero material dispersion. So you can observe the refractive index is decreased slowly as the wavelength increases. So the higher wavelengths will experience lower refractive index, and hence the higher wavelengths will travel faster as compared to the lower wavelengths. Let us derive the expression for material dispersion. Here we need to understand one term, that is a group velocity. When we consider a single wavelength, it travels at a speed of omega by beta. But when we consider a particular spectral width, the light pulse includes a bunch of wavelengths. So all the wavelengths will travel at different speeds. And that velocity is called as a group velocity. So we can find the group velocity by taking the derivative of omega with respect to beta. So from this group velocity, we can find the group delay tau, that is 1 by Vg, which is d beta by d omega. So now let us define this d beta by d omega as d beta by d lambda into d lambda by d omega. Now we know that lambda corresponds to the wavelength c by f. In terms of omega, we can get 2 pi c by omega. So if I differentiate lambda with respect to omega, I will get one equation, minus lambda square by 2 pi c. Let us evaluate this. We know that beta is a propagation constant given by 2 pi by lambda into n1. Now as we have seen, this n1 is not constant, it is function of the lambda. When we differentiate this beta with respect to lambda, we need to apply UV rule, that is 1 by lambda into n1 of lambda. So if we differentiate, we will get this equation, 2 pi by lambda square, lambda into dn1 by d lambda minus n1. So from this equation now we can find what is tau g, that is group delay time d beta by d omega, which is d beta by d lambda into d lambda by d omega. So if we substitute both the values, we will get the final equation, that is 1 by c n1 minus lambda dn1 by d lambda. Now the pulse delay because of the material dispersion in a fiber of length L can be given as tau m, which indicates material dispersion time delay, that is L by c n1 minus lambda dn1 by d lambda. So from this tau m we can find the material dispersion, that is the derivative of this tau m with respect to lambda. So again we need to apply the UV rule for the second derivation. So n1, the derivative is dn1 by d lambda minus the derivative of this is first into derivative of second, that is d2n1 by d lambda square, plus second into derivative of lambda, that is 1. So after simplifying this equation, we will get minus L by c into lambda d2n1 by d lambda square. So if you observe this material dispersion, there is a negative sign to this pulse dispersion. So when the second derivative of n1 is negative, the pulse dispersion will be positive, and if the derivative is positive, this D material will be negative. And at the wavelength of 1.27 micrometer, the value of D2N1 by D lambda square is equal to 0. So that is the wavelength at which the material dispersion is 0. So we define the material dispersion parameter per unit length is defined as this one, lambda by C mod of D2N1 by D lambda square. It is measured in picosecond per nanometer per kilometer. The length L is always considered in kilometer. Now the second type is the waveguide dispersion. Now if we consider the single mode fiber, the distribution of particular mode is assumed to be the Gaussian distribution. At the center of the fiber, the field will be maximum, and as we move towards the cladding, the field will be reduced. So this waveguide dispersion is caused by this power distribution inside core and inside cladding, which also depends on particular wavelength. So this dispersion occurs because for a single mode fiber, only up to 80% power will be inside core and remaining 20% power will be confined within cladding. And as the refractive index of cladding is less than the refractive index of the core, the part of this power which is traveling through the cladding will travel faster than that in the core. So that will reach earlier than the power from the core. And because of this, we get the dispersion in fiber. So in this case, we assume that the refractive index is constant, is independent of the wavelength, and the propagation constant of the material, it depends on now the wavelength. So let us define the parameter B as beta square minus beta 2 square divided by beta 1 square minus beta 2 square, where beta is the propagation constant, beta 2 propagation constant for the cladding, beta 1 propagation constant for the core, and B is called as a normalized propagation constant. Now if we assume that this refractive index N1 and N2 are almost equal, that is the difference between them is very small, then if we expand the equation, beta minus beta 2 into beta plus beta 2 divided by beta 1 minus beta 2 into beta 1 plus beta 2. So this beta 1 plus beta 2 and beta plus beta 2 will almost be same, so we can cancel them and we get the next equation as beta minus beta 2 upon beta 1 minus beta 2. So now let us just simplify this equation to get the value of beta, that is beta 2 plus B into beta 1 minus beta 2. If we take beta 2 common, the term remaining is 1 plus B, beta 1 minus beta 2 upon beta 2. And if we consider this beta 1 minus beta 2 upon beta 2, then 2 pi by lambda will get cancelled and we can get same equation as N1 minus N2 upon N2, which is a relative refractive index difference delta. So we will get the equation as beta 2 into 1 plus B delta Now beta 2 is 2 pi by lambda into n2. So this 2 pi by lambda can be written as omega by c. Omega is 2 pi c by lambda. So we'll get this equation now. So from this, if you want to find what is the group delay time, we can find using the same d beta by d omega. But now in this case, we consider the refractive index as constant and the propagation constant is a function of wavelength. So if we differentiate now this equation, omega c by n2 into 1 plus b delta, then this n2 by c will be constant and omega into 1 plus b delta, we can apply UV rule for the differentiation. That is, if we consider 1 plus b delta as u and w as v, then n2 by c into 1 plus b delta into derivative of omega, that is 1, so we will get the first term, and then n2 by c omega into derivative of 1 plus b delta, that is dB by d omega into delta. Now since the refractive index we considered as a constant, this delta will also be constant. Only this b will be function of the wavelength. So after differentiating this, we will get the final equation n2 by c 1 plus b delta plus omega n2 by c. Let's define this dB by d omega as dB by dV into dV by d omega into delta. Delta is a constant now. Now let us define this V. We can replace 2 pi by lambda as omega by c a into Na. So if I differentiate with respect to omega, I will get a into Na by c. And again from the same equation, if I have found this quantity a into Na by c, that is V by omega. So that is dV by d omega will be equal to V by omega. So if we put this value in this equation, this dV by d omega is only replaced by V by omega. So again the omega will get cancelled and I will get this equation as n2 by c delta constant V into dB by dV. Now if we take this n2 by c outside and combine all these three terms, 1 plus b delta plus delta V dB by dV, then if you observe this term and if we take this delta outside, then the term remaining is b plus V into dB by dV, which is the expansion of d by dV of bV. B into derivative of V, that is 1, so that is B, plus V into derivative of P, that is dB by dV. So you will get 1 plus delta d by dV of bV. And then we can find this waveguide dispersion differentiating this delay time with respect to lambda will give the waveguide dispersion. So now again if we define the parameter V 2 pi by lambda a into Na, and if I differentiate this with respect to lambda, I will get minus 2 pi by lambda square a into Na. And again 2 pi by lambda a into Na is nothing but V, so that is minus V by lambda. So finally we will get the equation for this waveguide dispersion coefficient into delta by C minus V by lambda d2 by dV square bV. So if we observe the dispersion characteristics of the fiber, then the material dispersion is shown by this dash dot line. As the wavelength increases, the material dispersion parameter will also increase, and there is one wavelength at 1270 nanometer that is called as a zero material dispersion wavelength. At this wavelength, the material dispersion will be 0. Then if you observe the waveguide dispersion, which is shown by this dotted line, it is negative, and as wavelength increases, it becomes more and more negative. So because of this, if we add the material dispersion and the waveguide dispersion, we will get total dispersion curve, which is shown by the solid line dt. So that is the total intramodal dispersion in the fiber. So after adding these two, we get a one wavelength which is shown by this lambda 0, at which the total intramodal dispersion or the chromatic dispersion is almost 0. That wavelength is 1310 nanometer. So that's why we say that this 1300 nanometer window, which is a second window of the optical communication, has theoretically zero dispersion loss. That's why this window has this significance. Dispersion is almost 0 at this 1300 nanometer window. So now if we find the total dispersion is nothing but the addition of waveguide dispersion and material dispersion, then as we have seen at 1300 we get the zero dispersion, but the attenuation at this window is around 0.5 dB, and we know that at the third window, that is 1550 nanometer, attenuation is very small, but the dispersion is more as compared to the 1300 nanometer. So if we can reduce the dispersion at 1550 nanometer, then we can get the benefits of lowest attenuation as well as lowest dispersion loss. So that can be achieved by these two fibers. Either shift the zero dispersion point to the 1550 nanometer, that fiber is called as a dispersion shifted fiber, or we can reduce the dispersion characteristics. So from 1300 to 1500 nanometer, the dispersion will be almost flat. That is called as a dispersion flattened single mode fiber. So the wavelength of the zero first order chromatic dispersion can be shifted to the lowest loss wavelength at 1.55 micrometer to provide both low dispersion and low loss. That fiber is called as a dispersion shifted fiber that can be created by reducing the core diameter. And second modification is by achieving a low dispersion loss from this 1.3 micrometer to 1.6 micrometer, and these fibers are called as a dispersion flattened fibers. So let's see. You can observe the first line which indicates the chromatic dispersion for the single mode fiber, and then the second line shows the dispersion shifted fiber. So this entire curve is shifted to 1550 nanometer. So at 1550 the dispersion will be almost zero. So this is called as a dispersion shifted fiber. Another way is you can observe this dotted line. We know that if you observe the first curve, the actual chromatic dispersion, then it is quite high at 1550 nanometer. So this value can be reduced up to the 1600 nanometer by using some techniques, so that this dotted line you can observe the dispersion will be almost flat. That is, the dispersion from 1300 to 1600 will be much lesser, and that fiber we call as a dispersion flattened fiber. So one way to achieve the dispersion shifted fiber is by changing the refractive index profile of the fiber core. So there are two profiles which are shown here. You can observe, by making the profile like this, we can shift the dispersion characteristics of the fiber. Then for dispersion flattened fibers, you can observe this some possible refractive index profiles for the fiber core. So by varying the refractive index like this, we can get dispersion flattened fibers. So because of this third window will provide lesser attenuation as well as lesser dispersion. So between 1300 to 1600 we can have low loss as well as low dispersion characteristics. Thank you.